What's up, craft fairies? So I am super excited about this new scoreboard from Anna. I know it's been out for a few months and I'm saying new. Well, it's new for me and it's new for 2023. So if you saw my Merry Craftsmas haul video, I was super excited about this. So today we're going to use it. This may be a video, maybe a little longer than normal because we are going to create a different projects here. So I hope you would enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get started. Someone would like to say hello. Leia, say hello. Okay, she has to come out of my lap. I love you. So let me show you what you get. So you get an instruction sheet right here. We'll go over that. You get this beautiful thingy here. So it's a corner rounder or corner punch, and then you get corner round, it rounds your corners. And you get this notch, and this is good for tabs or for your envelopes and boxes. It comes with, I'm sorry, I didn't have a count on the haul video, and I don't have a count now. Well, you know what? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. It's going out 4. I think you get 4. How many colors it is? 1, 2. Okay, so let me just show you because that's fair. So you get, I took out a lavender one already that we're going to use. So you get, I think it's 4 of each color. So I took out one lavender. Yeah, so it's 4 of each color. So it's 1. Then you get the lavender. You get this pretty cream color. You get like the gray or silver, and this is all pearlescent. You get the pretty blue, then we have the gold, and then you get the pink. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, 4 of each. So you get 24 12 by 12 sheets. And if you are an Anna fan, you know she has like the best quality paper. And if you're not an Anna fan, you might want to become one. Okay, so we get that, and then the other goodies you get to make this so unique is on the back. You get your bone folder or your scoring tool, and you get a removable envelope maker. So you would use that to create your envelopes, and it slides right back in. There's a little groove. Make sure it has to go under that. So make sure if it's not going in, you need to push it all the way and it'll slide right in. And then there's a little tab to pull it out. So then what I love everything, but this is like number one for me. I can see my numbers, like they're not the same. So this is an ivory color board. Some companies have it where the numbers will be the same ivory color, so you're like using a magnifying glass to see the numbers. So Anna, God, thank you so much. So I appreciate it. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to start off making an envelope because I know everybody wants to know how to use this. So what you need to do, so let's understand what we're looking at. So it says card size, paper size, and scale mark. Same thing for all these different size envelopes you can make. Now, if you know your measurements and you know how to make envelopes without measurements, using her measurements or someone else's, you can use the scoreboard to make whatever you need. But this is a guide. And so we are used to making, let's see, so a card size. Let's go over here to, do you have A2 here? You see that? I hope you can see it. Let me stand up, make sure, because I know the zoom sometimes. So it says right there A2, and then over here we're actually going to do an A7 because that's what most Anna card sizes that we use. And so it says 5.5 by 7, A7. So that's going to be the card size. Though we do a 5 by 7, there's going to be some extra room. Now a lot of you guys have been asking Anna for larger envelopes, so now you can make your own, which I love. You're going to need a piece of paper or piece of card that's 10 by 10, and then there's a scale mark which says 4.5, and I'll explain that later. So for right now, let's get a 10 by 10 sheet of cardstock. Here's my cardstock. It is a 12 by 12. I need to cut it to a 10 by 10. So I'm going to put it on my cutter, 10 inches, turn it around, put it at 10 inches, and cut it again. So this is 10 inches squared, 10 by 10 by 10 by 10. Okay, so that's that. Now let's go ahead and create the envelope. So we're going to go back here. We're going to go here. The instructions. Then this is for all envelopes. You have to put this, your envelope maker, to the end of the scoreboard. Now I'm going to show you up close because I know that looks like it's on 12 and it's not. So let me hold it. So So it needs to go, sorry, like right there. You see that, how that edge there, it needs to line up right there. And that's it. That's every time you make an envelope with this tool. If you're making an envelope with your own measurements, you don't need this. But if you're using this tool, every time you make an envelope, it needs to be right there. Okay, so then we're going to take our paper. You're going to, let me move it over. So you're going to take your paper, and it says align the paper, which we did it. Now what you're going to do is, we are making, let me go back to this, we are making the we are making the 5.5 by 7. We cut out our 10 by 10 piece of paper, and the scale mark says 4.5. So that's what this means. So line this up, and then our scale mark is going to be right here. So you're going to take your paper, and down here you have numbers. Okay, so you see 4.5 right there. So we're going to put that there, and we're going to put our paper, and we're going to stop it at 4.5. Okay, see that? So it's on here, and I know you can't see it. Let me see if I can zoom in, if that'll make it better. Okay, not really, because it's gold. Okay, well, anyways, I'll guide you. So right here, I got the paper on here, and right here is 4.5. Okay, it's right there. So you put your paper, the end of your paper, line it up to 4.5. Make sure you have your thingy here lined up, and that's it. All you're going to do now, make sure it's under that, sorry. So take it, it's at 4.5, and you're just going to take your scoring tool and score. That's it. Okay, now the next step is super important. You would think that you would take it and put it at 4.5 again. No, 4.5 is that initial score mark. That's the only time we use it. Now you see the score line right here. You're going to turn it, and you're going to line that score line up to this. Okay, line it up. You see that? It's touching the little line right there. And it's not sitting at 4.5 anymore. Don't worry about that. We're done with that. That's just the first time. Then you're going to score. Okay, then you're going to turn it again, and you're going to line that little line up with your score line, just like that. I'm just holding this down just in case it moves. Score. Look at that. Ah, I'm so happy. This is my first try. Okay, and then this way, I haven't made anything yet. We're going to do it here, and then the last fourth final, score it there. Okay, so I'm gonna, I know this is pretty, I'm gonna flip it over so you can see the score lines. So you see, let me zoom it back out. Okay, so you see that we created all, come on. So then now this is where our little notch comes in. Okay, so this side is the notch. It says it's not written in gold like how this is up here, but it's okay. You can see by the shape. So you see that, and then that's your corner rounder. So you should be able to tell. So the notch has those. So what you're gonna do, it doesn't matter which side you do it. So you see how when we created the score lines, it created that little triangle right there. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, don't worry about the triangle, just push it in, and it should line up with those two lines. Squeeze. You see that? I'm gonna turn it around to the next one. See where that little triangle is? That's just a guide. That's not, doesn't mean that it's going to exactly line up with it, because it's not. It's coming. That's just a guide. It's going to line up with this and that one, like that V shape. See? Push it in. That's just letting us know where we put the paper. Got it? And turn it around again. Okay, and then the final fourth time, and if you don't want to use the notch, you could just use your scissors. Okay, see that? Now let me move this out the way for a minute. So then now all we're going to do is fold. So what I like to do is start with my sides. Okay, see that? You got all your folds. So then I'm just going to take some adhesive. You might want to use a really good glue. So just take some adhesive. Be careful where you put your adhesive. Make sure you use strong glue and strong tape, because you don't want this to come apart with non-strong glue and non-strong tape in the middle. So you see where I put the adhesive or the glue, and then we're just going to bring that up just like that. Just like that. See that? And then now you fold down the top, and bingo, you got this pretty envelope. Look at that. So what I want to do is compare it to one of Anna's traditional 5x7 cards that like come in the card kits. So this is one here. So look at that. You guys asked her for larger envelopes. Look how much more space you got. Look at that. So all of those cards where you add more embellishments and things, you've got more space, and it opens up pretty wide. Look at that. You could go ahead and add embellishments on that compared to the regular one, which is good. But if you got a dimensional card, you want a bigger envelope. Okay, so if this part is annoying you, you can either take some scissors and just cut that piece off, or you could do what I'm gonna do, which is take a little piece of tape. I know it's tough to see. I'm gonna just put it right on the little triangle there. You can use glue too. And I'm just going to just take my fingers and just fold it down. And the little tape is just so that it sticks, because when you put your card in, it will lift up. So this looks pretty. Okay, and then when you're ready to send your envelope, you can just put some tape here with your tape runner or some glue, close it, label it, and address it. Okay, that's that. Super pretty. Now we're going to move on to a box envelope. Now that's going to be more for like your, you know, the dimension. If you don't want to use the card like that we just made, you can make this box. So I made this on one of Anna Griffin's videos. I think it was my Tour Eiffel video. I made this, and it's made with the diorama box, and it lights up. If you haven't seen that video, you should go watch it. And I've added some ribbon for hanging. So yeah, it's super pretty. But the point of me showing you this on this video is that look what it has here. Like, and it's a little 1/4 inch. This is not gonna go through here. Okay, it's just not. It's a 5x7, but it's not made for this. Okay, is it a 5x7? Yeah, but it's not gonna go in, and it's not gonna go in this either. It's just not made for it. Okay, it has too much dimension. So let's go ahead and make a box. So for the box right here, that's like a 5x7. Let me make sure that's a 5x7. I believe so. And I told you this video was going to be a little bit longer. It's actually almost 7.5 inches actually by 5. Okay, so like I said, this is instructional, so sorry, this is going to take a little longer. If you want to learn. If you don't, I'll see you in another video. So envelope box, it looks like for a 5 by 7.5, we're gonna have to use the largest size here, which is 8 by 5 7/8. And when you see that by 1 1/4 by 3/4, when you see that final number, that is like the width of the box. So how thick it's how wide it's gonna be. So we're gonna do 8 by 5 7/8 by 1, because that's the largest size that we can do with this guide. If you know how to make it and use your own measurements, do not use this guide. This is for this her particular measurements. Okay, so we need a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, which I have one of Anna's papers right here. Pretty flowers on this side and pretty on this side. Okay, so we need a 12 by 12. Again, when we're using this, we have to make sure this is lined up. Okay, so let's do that first. Line that up. All right, so the instruction says to line it up. So we got our paper size. Now it says there's a score line, outer and inner. See, for the regular envelope, we didn't have those outer and inner numbers. So you're like, okay, what the heck is that? So that's what's going to make our the width of our envelope box. So outer is 4.5 and inner is 6. So to start this, it says that we need to score the inner line first, and then we'll score the outer line. So the inner line is 6. So let's put this on. Okay, let me move this over. So let's get our paper. So remember the numbers down here. The first one says 6. So 6 is, you might can see that it's right there. So just put the end of your paper as 6. Same like when you're making an envelope, it's just we're using different measurements and we're making 2 score lines on each side instead of 1. Look how beautiful. Almost screamed that scored so perfectly, and it didn't tear the paper because Anna got the best. All right, so then, well, I'm super excited. Let me focus. So that was our inner or outer. See, look at that. I got too excited and I got lost. Okay, that was the inner score line. So now the outer says 4.5. Okay, so pay attention what I'm about to do. I'm going to move this paper up to 4.5. Now remember, for the envelope, we didn't have to worry about using those numbers a second time, but for this box, you will. You see that? So we got 2 score lines. So now what we need to do is turn the paper. Now we got 2 lines. So you're like, okay, well, which one do I line it up with? You're going to line it up with the outer score line. So the second one you did, not the first one. So line it up with the outer score line. Don't worry about the numbers now. Again, remember let me see, do we have to worry about those numbers? I don't think we have to worry about those numbers again. So we got it lined up to there. Stay. Okay, right there, and then you just move it up to that second score line. And mark. Okay, turn it around again. So all we're doing is the score line. See, these score lines are always going to be our guide. Then we move that one up. Now if you missed it, just rewind it and look at it again. Okay, and then turn it to the final side, and okay, look at that. Can you see that? It looks just like the envelope. I know there was an extra little score line where I kind of moved and messed my hand up, like right there. Don't worry about that. I messed up. All right, so we are done with that. So I'm going to move that to the side, and then now we can just cut our little notches. So remember the little triangles that we create? See that? We're going, this time, remember, we're making a box and we did 2 score lines, so we're going to have 2 little triangles on each side. So there's one and there's one. So see, now we're having 2. So just line it up and then line it up. Okay, so then turn it to the third side and you're doing the same thing. Come off, and then right here, and then the final side. That's where I messed up and actually made some extra score lines because I was moving my hand. All right, there we go. So that is complete. So when the tabs, they do fall out, so you don't have to worry about cleaning this because there is no closure to collect those. So then now all we're gonna do, we need to cut tabs. So you need to cut your tabs because you're still making this, like if you're familiar with box making, it's like a regular box. So you're gonna cut that way, and then you're gonna cut that way. So just watch where I'm cutting, and then we're gonna flip it around and cut, and we're gonna cut. So all we did was just make tabs. Okay, so let's start folding. So just fold. You see the little tab? That's all we did when we did that little cut. We're just folding, 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 the tab, folding. So all the bottom is folded, so it looks like a little box, right? But then we have this second score line. Fold those. Fold all the second score lines. Fold. Make sure you get your tabs. Fold and fold. So you see now, look at that. Now you got plenty of space. So I'm gonna go ahead, and for speed I'm gonna use tape, but you probably want to use glue for your tabs. So you want to put some, I'm just going to fold the tab so you can see. Okay, so what you're going to do is bring them in like a regular envelope, but I'm going to fold that up. Okay, I'm going to take this side and you're going to fold that in, fold that tab in. And then now we need to glue our sides. Now you can use tape or glue. I'm going to use some hot glue for speed. Okay, so just put some glue. Come out. So I'm just going to put some glue, and I'm just going to get that on. And just kind of hold that down. Be careful if you're using your hot glue. I just want it to dry fast. So then I'm also going to put some on this side. Okay, got my little tab in, and just fold. Okay, see that? Look at that. And I don't really care for the tabs at the top. I usually cut them off. You can keep them. It's probably best to keep them, but I just usually cut them off. But look at that. There's your box. This is big. Like, look at that. But guess what? This, there is not even a struggle. Now, this is actually too wide, but now you can change the width of your boxes and make them smaller. But the thing is you're going to have to know how to use this. So, like, maybe I shouldn't even talk about, I'm not going to talk about that, but okay, I don't want to confuse anybody. But yeah, so here's a big box. If you're familiar with box making and you're familiar, you know what I'm talking about. So this is 1 inch. You can make this into a 1/2 inch, a 1/4 inch, 3/4 of an inch, but you got to know how to do it. And because it's beginner, I'm not going to confuse anybody, so I'm not going to talk about that, maybe on another video. All right, so look at that, super cute. So then of course you put some tape or whatever, and this box is beautiful with Anna's beautiful paper. All right, so let's move on. So the next project we're going to do is we are going to make a box, like not an envelope, but a box. So for the box, you don't need this, okay? All you need to know how to do is to score. So I am going to put this back in its housing, and remember, make sure it goes, there we go, to make the box that I'm making. I'm gonna go ahead and take a piece of cardstock, and you're gonna cut it at 12 inches, which this is already 12 inches, but we need to make it 12 by 9. All right, so 12 by 9 inches. So then now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to score it at, oh my God, I love how I can see these numbers. 1 inch, 1 inch all the way down. Oh my God, you guys, I'm like over here acting all goofy. Like I cannot believe how much I'm enjoying my scoreboard. Like seriously. All right. So then we've got a 1 inch score. Oh, you can't see it that way either, but you see it 1 inches. Can you see it? 1 inch score line all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way on each side. All right, so this is the 9 inch side because it's shorter. This is the 12 inch side. You can just hold it up there and you'll see it. 12 inches, 9 inches. Okay, along the 12 inch side, we need to also score at, let's score at 5.5 and 6.5. Only one time, okay? So it was at 5.5 and 6.5 along the 12 inch side, okay? And that's it for the scoreboard. So now what we want to do is, I should have used, because it's a little tough for you to see. Not really. Okay. So then now what we're going to do is just go ahead and you see where the little tab, the little square, that's the smallest square. You're going to cut on both sides. And you can kind of cut a little wedge if you like, if that's your thing. See that? Like a little, is it a isosceles, a little triangle? So this is just where the tab is, okay? So if you look at the paper, that's in the middle, and then on the end, you have a little square there. You're gonna do it, but only on the one side. You could do it on, I wouldn't do it on that side, okay? And then on this end here, you got your little score line, little square, and just cut it right there, okay? So this is what it should look like. Okay, now flip it over and do the same thing. Very identical. Like I said, just rewind if you got lost. And then the final little one here, that little score line there. All right, so then now you see that just they match. 2 of them there, 2 of them there, and 1 here and 1 there. So then now all we do is fold. Just go around and fold all of your score lines. And here's your tabs. Fold. So you should have 3 tabs. 3 on this one. And then 3 on this side. So along the 12 inch sides, you're gonna have 3 tabs. So a total of 6 tabs. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. So there we go. Now don't forget we have the 2 score lines in the middle. This is where we scored at 5.5 and 6.5. So fold those. Okay. So for speed, I'm going to use tape. Actually, I could just use a little bit of hot glue. Okay, so I'm just gluing my tab. So just take it, fold it over. Okay, I'm just using hot glue for speed. Here's my other tab. Some hot glue. Fold it over, just like that. And you got your other tab here in the center. So just go around and glue all your little tabs. And what you're making is a box. So, and then you have your little tab here on the end. Okay, and then do the same thing to this side. And then for the final tab, right here. All right, cute. All right, so hopefully everything is dry. So then now all you do is you bring your box down and you have this beautiful, look at that, a cute little box. All right, so let me just clean this up a little bit. So then to decorate the box, I have one of Anna's dies that I cut out and some of her pretty pink pearl paper, and I'm just gonna put that right here. Okay, so I need some tape or some glue. I'll just use some tape. So yeah, you can decorate the box however you want. I'm just using some of Anna's products. So just set that on. And then I have one of her sentiment stickers, says wishing you the happiest birthday. Just gonna place that in the center. And then I have one of her florals to match the paper. Is this a sticker? This is not a sticker. Okay, so I'm gonna put that down with some, actually I want to use some foam tape for that one. Give some dimension. So yeah, you could just use whatever you got, and let me know if you have this tool and are you liking it. Like, I really like it a lot. And I think the most people would say they're grateful that it has a place to store the measurements. I'm most grateful that I could actually see the numbers. Like, I just cannot stress that enough. Like, that is so awesome. So then I have this beautiful gold butterfly that I cut out of, this is one of Anna's dies from one of her older sets. And I'm just going to, this is one of my favorite butterflies from her. I'm just going to place the butterfly right there. Isn't that pretty, the box? So then you open it up and there you go. Now the measurement of this box is, let me get it for you because I really don't know. Just my own. So 7 by 4.5. So that's the finished size. So there you go. Now you have a box. So then next, what we're going to do to work with this beautiful board is we are going to make a mini album. And let's get this back out. Well, actually, we're going to have to get some paper and we're going to do a little bit of cutting. So for the mini album cover, I've taken one of the beautiful pieces of pearlescent cardstock that came with this score set, and you're going to need to cut this at 10 inches. Save this piece for like little embellishments or things that you want to cut out by 7 inches. Okay, let's save this, save these. Okay, don't throw this away. All right, so we have 10 by 7, and then we're going to take this and we are going to, let's see, score at 4, and let's see, I want to score at 4 3/4 and 5 1/4. So we're going to score at 4 3/4 and 5 1/4. I love how I can see those numbers. Look at that. And then now let's fold it. It's not even ripping. Obviously it's not gonna rip Anna's paper. Look at that. So then you just fold it and we have like this cute little book. Okay, cute, right? Yay. All right, so then now let's go ahead and take, you're gonna need to take out and cut some paper. So I have some of my own paper. This is not Anna's paper. This is some of my own paper. You're going to need to cut these papers by, you're going to need 3 of them. And you want to go ahead and cut those at, all right, so we're going to cut, you need 6 sheets. So I have 3 printed, and then I have three. I tried to find 3 coordinating solids. Okay, so these are going to be like the pages of our journal. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this paper down. And I'll be right back. All right, so I have 3 here, and I'm going to cut these at 9 inches. These are 12 by 12. I'm going to cut them, all 3 of them, at 9 inches. Sorry, I'll get this lined up. 9 inches. All right, and you could save these as well if you are using printed paper. And then we are going to cut it along this side at 6 3/4. So right here. I just make, oh no, I accidentally cut one. No. I was trying to pull it out. I remember when I used to be afraid to use this thing. All right, let me see where I cut that, if I can save it. No, I can't. Okay, so by 6 3/4. All right, perfect. So then of course you can save this for something else. So then I'm going to do the other 3 the same way. So you want to line them up. Them in half. So let's just take them, and I'm going to do 3 and 3 at a time. Take them. Okay, so I'm going to take my 3 to make it easy. You can score them in the middle if you like. I'm just going to go ahead and fold them in half. Okay, I got 3 together, and I'm just folding in half. And then I'm going to take my 3 solids, flip it over, and fold it in half. Okay, so then now we're going to create 2 signatures. So you take whichever ones you want and create your signature. So I'm going to do like this with this one, and then I'm going to do this with this one. Okay, and actually on this one I think I'm just gonna make the pages white like that. Okay, so that, all right, so then this is one book, so open it up. Ta-da, 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 ta-da. Okay, and then this one you got here, here, upside down, and here. Okay, and actually you can just do it like this. There we go. So here, here, and here. All right, so I have 2 signatures that I created, right? I think I want to leave it like that. So what I'm going to do now is, no, I'm going to do it like that. Okay, so now that I have my 2 signatures, what you're going to do is, I have some twine here. Just take some twine. I'm going to use probably this purple color. And your twine, you just want to get a piece. So you see how I have it coming out to the end. So you just want to like use your own judgment. Like, I didn't really measure right now, so just get it enough to where you can actually like tie it. So I'm just going to cut it like right there. So you see how it's enough so that you could tie it. If you want it longer for your charms or whatever you want to do, then you can do that. So I'm going to have that one, and then I'm going to have this one. Same thing. So just have it enough to where you can tie it. And if you don't have twine, you can get twine. I use the Dollar Tree twine. This particular one came from Hobby Lobby. This was the spring one. So yeah. All right, so then now what we're gonna do is you're going to take your little album here. You're gonna put it in your journal, in your album. You're gonna take your twine and put it in your album, and you're gonna tie. So don't squeeze it till you rip your paper or anything, but you're just gonna pull it as far as it could go, like that, see? And then you're just gonna kind of like hold it down and then tie a knot. Make sure it's not too loose, just like that, see? And you're gonna take the other piece and you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna wrap it around. And you're just going to do the same thing that you just did. You're just going to pull it as much as it can go, kind of hold it till you get that second knot, and then tie it. Okay, and then you're going to take this signature and you're going to place it. So now you got all this extra. You can cut it if you want, or you can add charms. I'm going to leave mine for now, but as you're watching, you have 2 sets of twine here, so you just make sure you're putting it over the right one because they could overlap. Okay, so you take one and you're going to place it under the twine. And the good thing about this is it's removable, so you could just take this out and add more paper or different paper and slide it in like that, see? And if all this is bothering, I'm just holding this right now because I don't know if I want to add charms yet, but if it's bothering you, just cut it. And then you still have this one, and you're going to add this one in there, your second one. Make sure you get all the pages in. And there we go. And now you have this beautiful how easy was that? You have this beautiful little album and you made it with your new scoreboard. Okay, so then now that's all in there. So then now, guess what? This comes into play. We didn't use this yet. So we have our corner rounder. So you want to do your cover because the cover is a little larger than the signatures. You just want to stick that in, not this one. Remember, we used that one for the notches. So just stick this in as far as it can go and clip. See that? See that compared to that? That's why it's called a corner. We use it on the corners and it rounded. So let's do it again. Take it, push it in as far as it can go and clip. Cute. So just do each side of that. See, we're utilizing everything that this scoreboard has to offer. And I just wanted to show you all of that. That's why I did different projects in this video. And thank you for your patience. So then now you can round your signatures. Let's see if this will go through 3 sheets of paper. So let's push all 3 together. And then you just got to kind of hold them in place because they will move. And actually you could do this before you, probably would be better to do this before you insert it. So let me take it out. And if your little thing slides off, it goes back on easy. There we go. See that? All the pages are around it. So just hold them together though, okay? And there we go. We got some rounded corners. And let's get you back on. You also can use elastic. Elastic will probably less likely slide off. Or you could just make this a little tighter, but I don't like it too tight because I want to be able to get my papers out. All right, so then all of them together, push it in as far as it will go. Look at that. Go Anna. Go Anna. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I'll just hold them all together. So imagine you could use this for all your projects. Push it all together. All right, and then let's get that back. So now we must decorate. Now the video is too long, so I'm not gonna have you watch me decorate. So I'm gonna decorate this, and I will be back with the finished album. So at this particular point, I lost sound, so I'm just kind of going over the album spine. So the two pieces of twine were pretty annoying. Keep moving. So I'm showing you that I'm going to take a piece of that trim. I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to hot glue it to the back of the spine. If you use elastic will most likely stay in place because it's stretchy and it'll, you know, have its form or shape. So I'm just burning the ends of that so that it won't unravel. So yeah, some pretty little like foliage and purple florals. So I'm just gonna glue that to the spine. So now I'm actually showing you the design. So the front cover, I'm showing you the pages then. Okay, so just showing you what I've done. Some of the dies are my own. That's Anna's, that concentric, one of her dies. That's her cut and emboss folders for the rabbit and the grass. And I left a lot of the pages blank because I do want to put pictures. That's Anna's one of her pocket dies. And then I was telling you that with that paper, remember I said to save that, I cut some up so you could use it for journaling or something. And then that's another one of Anna's compendium dies. That's her flower cutting from her cut and emboss folder, from her spring cut and emboss folder. That's her little teacup. I added some flowers. That is her gothic window dies. There's another one of her pockets. And there's her rose, there's her cat, there's some more of her grass. So that, and then the front is her garden arch die. So here I'm just showing you, you know, some of the stuff that we made. And yeah, so easy. Love the scoreboard. I'm getting ready to show you now that on the back of that envelope guide, there is also some box instructions that I missed. So here I'm showing you the back of that guide. I did not pay attention that the back of that even had something on it. I don't know how I missed it, but that actually shows you the box instructions for a box base and a box lid. So we're going to go ahead and create that. So you're going to need to So I'm not sure which one I'm showing you first, the base or the lid. I guess I'm showing you the base first. So you're just going to go ahead and score 1 inch and 2 inches on all 4 sides. So just like that, 1 inch and 2 inch, and you're just going to do it on all 4 sides. Really easy. So you will need the same size paper for your box base and your box lid. I don't remember what size that was, but let's just say if you needed a 12 by 12 for the base, you're also going to need a 12 by 12 for the lid. The difference is going to be your score lines. So for that one, we scored at 1 and 2 on each side, and sometimes I missed the groove and I accidentally score an extra little line or I mess up. Don't worry about that. I'm not sure, I don't remember what I was doing here, but at this point now we're getting ready to cut out the sides and that we can go ahead and start to assemble the box. So you just cut out your little squares and you can follow that how I cut it out, and you do the same cutout on all 4 sides. So after we do this part, we'll also cut some tabs. That one I cut a little far up, so I already created a tab on that one, but you'll see the process. So the box, I believe, was an 8 by 8 It is the largest size box on that guide, and I believe it's an inch deep. So a nice size to put some gifts in. Just make sure, you know, if you're gonna mail it or something, use some really strong cardstock. If you're gonna mail it, I would say put it into like another sturdier box, because it's a nice size. But you know, sometimes going through the shipping and receiving and the postal area, things get smashed. So I definitely would probably put it inside of another box. Now at this point, I'm just folding the score lines, and I already remember I cut a little far, so I created a tab on that side already right there. So then what we're going to do after we fold the score lines is we are going to go ahead and also create the tabs. So remember, you have 2 score lines per side. So here I'm just creating the tabs on the rest of the sides. So now I'm just going to grab some tape. You can use tape or glue. Just use something sturdy, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the tabs, and we're going to get the sides of the box put together. So you build it just like a regular box, but you're going to see as we start to assemble it that there is a top tab, the top layer, which was that second score line. So with this particular guide that Anna gave us, these boxes are going to be lined on the inside and the out. And if you don't understand what that means, you'll see it's going to be lined at the top, the edges of your box. You'll see it as we're putting it together. So we're just putting together all 4 sides, and then that top tab, we're going to end up folding that, putting some adhesive on it, and like that, like I'm doing, and folding it down. And that's what I mean by that the boxes are going to be lined. If you don't want that, then you don't have to score. You can cut it off. You can just cut it off, or you know, you don't have to score that second line. You could just score 1 line. When you initially score the paper, you can just score 1 line, like kind of like you know, like how we did the gift box that I showed you with my own measurements. We had scored at 1 inches on each side. You could just score like that, just 1 score line. So on that one, I think we did 1 and 2, so you could just do 1 or 2. You don't have to do both if you don't want that lining. I hope that makes sense. Or you can just cut it off. So that's totally up to you. So then I'm just going to go ahead and finish putting adhesive on the top and just folding that down to complete that box. And again, if you have watched this video, I know it is very time consuming. Like I said, it is instructional more than inspiration, because I know there's always new crafters. There's new people to Anna Griffin. There's new people to paper crafting. Some people may not know what a scoreboard is, how to make an envelope, etc. I used to be like that a long time ago. So I do appreciate stuff like this, you know. So if you have been sticking with me, thank you. So now we're going to go ahead and go on to the box lid. I believe that was the base. So now I'm showing you, like, you know, the base and the lid. So you're going to go and look at the measurements. Or maybe we didn't do the biggest box size. I'm not sure, but now I'm showing you the numbers. Now we're going to do, I think that's 7/8 and 1 7/8, if I saw that correctly. So you're going to get the same size paper, whatever that was. Looks like it was a 12 by 12. So you now, this time, instead of scoring 1 and 2, you're going to score at 7/8 and 1 7/8 on all 4 sides. So if you don't want that lining piece, then instead of scoring 7/8 and 1 7/8, just score at one of those. Just pick one of those numbers and score it the same on all 4 sides. Now here I'm showing you how to get to 7/8 because it's not going to say it on the thing. So that number, so between 0 and 1 there are 8 bars. So you're gonna stop at, I was counting them, and that's number 8. Number 1 is 8 bars from 0 to 1. So that's 7/8, 7 bars out of 8 bars, if that makes sense. So that's how you get that, because it doesn't say that on there, and someone might not know how to score that measurement. So I'm just finishing the scoring and we're done with that. I guess I'm showing something. So now after we do that, we're going to go ahead and cut the box the same way. Okay, so now I see what I'm doing. I'm showing you 1 7/8. So at the beginning we did 7/8, but now we're adding a 1 in front of that. So you're going to go to the number 1 on the scoreboard. You're going to count 1. After 1, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th bar, and stop there. So that'll be 1 7/8. I hope that makes sense. So again, just finishing that up, and we're going to go ahead do that on all 4 sides, and we're going to go ahead and start cutting. So now at this point, I've cut the box lid exactly how I cut the base. It's no difference. So if you forgot, just rewind it, go look at how I cut it on the base. Is the exact same thing. It's just that the score lines are at different spots. So, and I'm just doing the same thing, gluing the tabs and folding the box over. It's the exact same thing we did to the first one. So just do that also to the second one. So at this point, I was just writing lid on there so I know which one is which. So as you can see, they're both 8 by 8, I believe, and you just put it down and lid box. However, I did it backwards or something, but the point is that it fits. You see that? I must have put it on backwards or wrote it backwards, whatever, but the point is that it fits perfectly. It's a nice size box. Again, I don't know if I mentioned I did use my own paper. Anna does have some beautiful plaid paper in her collection, so check that out if you're interested. But yeah, I didn't realize that there was a gift box on the guideline on the back, so that's why I ended up doing that. So you add a little bow, and I'm just showing you all the projects that we created. We did a mini album, we did a regular flat envelope, we did an novella box, we did a box with the lid connected, which was my own measurements, and then we did the box on the back of that guide. So I hope you found this super inspiring. I hope you found what you need or what you were looking for. If you were interested in getting the scoreboard, is so many versatile uses. Remember, you go beyond Anna's measurements. I'm showing you here that Vella box. It fit that thick album that we created. Like, isn't it nice? But the measurement, you can use your scoreboard not only for Anna Pryor. Anything you score, you can use it up to 12 inches. So you can use it to create lots of things. So I definitely think it's a good investment, and I'm super excited to have it. And definitely I'll be getting some more videos out for you in the future on projects and things using that wonderful scoreboard. So I'm just showing you their box uses, and I'm just excited, you know. So yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again. Please let me know if you liked the video. Bye.